guys, Merry Christmas! Today is December 25th. Hope you're all having a lovely holiday season. And if you're like me and you're outside riding in this extremely frigid weather, today's like 12 degrees Fahrenheit, make sure you do it responsibly. I currently have my new favorite pair of heated gloves. I love these things. And my heated vest. Still cold, but I'm not going to die. You know, a nice side effect of this weather is you don't have to worry about your motor or controller overheating. But you do have to worry about your battery freezing. This whole thing is solid ice. Can you guys see this? Solid ice. But okay, as we're heading into the new year, 2023, so much ice. I want to talk to you guys about what's potentially the best e-bike on the market, or at least has been up until this point. Okay, this ice is a little bit extreme. Okay, so for the past couple of years now, the Cab Motorworks, that's the company name. They have a few different e-bike models. But just in general, that company and their bikes has held the crown as the undisputed top of the class or top of the line e-bike on the market. So the top bike they sell is called the Recon, and it's an absolute just beast of a bike. If you could design the perfect, highest quality e-bike, this is essentially it. So the bikes use the pretty popular enduro frame, and it's a very good athletic frame. The huge advantage of that bike, or the frame, is the suspension. That's the whole reason why they choose it. The front forks have 8 inches of travel, and the rear has 10 inches. Now, the next very major design choice they went with is a hub motor. Usually, when you think of expensive off-road vehicles, you think mid-drive. And the reason why mid-drives are generally considered to be better for off-roading is because they have a mechanical interface between the motor and the wheel. So you can get a better gear ratio, low-end power, and that's generally desired. The reason why they have a hub motor in this bike is because they overcome that hurdle just with raw power. So this hub motor is, on the Recon, is 20 kilowatts, 20,000 watts. It still doesn't quite have as much low-end immediate torque as, say, a Sur-Ron, but it's close. So this hub motor, through its raw power, can almost match a mid-drive on the low end, and on the high end, because it's a hub motor, it can go way faster than a Sur-Ron. They don't list a top speed on the website, probably for legal reasons, but I think it's well over 60 miles an hour. And the other advantage of using a hub motor over a mid-drive is because you don't have that mechanical interface between it and the wheel, there's essentially no moving parts and nothing to go wrong. You don't have to worry about chain braking or anything of that nature. So it's extremely reliable, low maintenance, and that is a huge selling point, especially with electric vehicles. Oh yeah, and as you would expect, they have a very beefy battery connected to this power-hungry motor. It's 72 volts, and it's, if I remember correctly, 38 amp hours. So the Recon is just a beast of a bike. Great suspension, fantastic power, and ultra low maintenance.
So technically, the Recon is a fantastic bike, but it does have a lot of things I don't like. And yes, I came inside because I was getting cold. So the Recon has a base price of $10,000. That is super expensive, and you can tack on an extra $600 for shipping. Now, with a price tag of $10,000, you would expect this bike to come fully loaded with everything you need. But that is far from the case. When you go to buy this bike, they have 7 upsells, and I think all of them are ridiculous. And if we go through these one by one, the first one here is the battery. So for $10,000, I gotta say a 36 amp hour battery, even at 72 volts, just doesn't cut it. So you can bump it up to 63 amp hours, but that's for an additional $2,595, bringing the total price tag up to well over $12,000. The next upsell here is brakes. Now, I'm not familiar with TRP brakes, but again, for $10,000, a premium bike, why don't they give you the best brakes included? Why do you have to pay another $1,000 for good brakes? That's followed by the color. So if you want anything other than black, it's going to cost you a ridiculous $800. The next upsell is motor wheel build. and you can choose a performance wheel for an additional almost $1,700. And right here, they give you more detail on what exactly this is. And essentially, it's thicker spokes and a better rim. Again, same argument. For the premium price tag, why is the better wheel not the default? You can also customize the pedals for an additional $1,000. And this one here is the one that irks me the most. It's the street safety kit. Again, they don't give it to you by default, and it's an additional $1,350. And the street safety kit is simply a headlight, a taillight, brake lights, blinkers, a mirror, and a horn. That's it. So the Recon in its base configuration doesn't even give you a headlight. If you want that, you have to pay well over $1,300 additional dollars. And that to me is insane. But even so, due to its raw power, the Recon has been the highest end e-bike you could buy. But I think with the introduction of new bikes like the Lyric Voodoo, this status quo, or at least this segment of the market, is starting to get a lot more competitive. So to start, this bike costs just $7,000. The hub motor has a peak power of 18 kilowatts, and the controller is very similar to that used in the Recon. It is the ASI BAC 4000, and the Recon has the BAC 8000 controller. But the Voodoo does take the lead with the battery. So this is 72 volts, 50 amp hours by default. And speaking of default, they do not upsell you for basic things like lights. It all comes default on this bike. So in terms of raw power, suspension, the Recon is still technically the ultimate e-bike on the market, but at least now with names like Voodoo, hopefully more in the near future, we at least have competition in this market segment finally. And usually more competition equals higher quality products at a cheaper price, and I think we're beginning to see that with the Voodoo. It has a lot more standard features, and it's cheaper. But let me know in the comments below which one of these two bikes is your favorite. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.